So the other day, Tectone, a massive gotcha streamer and content creator, posted a video that really piqued my interest. So the video in question was entitled, "Why Do People Hate Asmongold?" And basically this video was a reaction video of Tectone to another content creator called Potta Plays, in which Potta Plays created a video basically chronicling all the different reasons online that people hate Asmongold. In no specific order, the video went through people's disdain for Asmongold's React content, his flippant or nihilistic moral compass, the belief that he's a racist and or misogynistic to some degree, and then just a slew of other words that all end in IST. And last but not least, of course, people seem to take a serious issue with Asmongold's living situation and his just general hygiene overall. So in today's video, I don't want to spend a bunch of time regurgitating Potta Plays' video, as in my opinion, that's honestly probably just plagiarism, but I do want to open the floor for a bigger conversation, and that is, why do people hate content creators so much? And actually the answer is pretty simple if I'm going to be honest. Everybody wants to be a millionaire who gets to indulge in their hobbies and sit at home. And if I'm going to be really honest, I think anybody who would say that they don't think that's an ideal way to live is either A, just a genuinely, private person who wants to have a very normal, very quiet life, or B, you're just supremely jealous and you wish that you could do that, but you don't have the means or the luck to get into the industry. And the reason why I say that to be true is because I used to be a Asmongold hate watcher.
First of all, I'm a rat.
I first actually started watching Asmon when I was in college and I was going through a pretty rough time, and I just could not believe that this guy with seemingly no merit had this huge following, basically just doing reaction content. And for a while, I honestly tried my hardest not to watch any of his videos. But there's one thing I can't take from the guy is that he's just a hustler straight up. And I mean, the guy was posting every single day. I could not get up or go to bed and not see one of his videos on my feed. And I think at some point I just gave in and I watched one of his videos. And if I got to be completely honest, I actually realized the guy is actually pretty intelligent, despite what people say about him online and all the stuff that his chat is saying during his live streams. And I think the thing for me that stuck out the most was the fact that he seemed to be extremely liberal despite his very alt-right chat. And instead of banning these people, he actually gave them a place to be that was safe on the internet for them to voice their opinions. Now, while I would personally probably ban anybody who's just spamming DEI in my chat anytime they saw a girl or a black person or someone of another race that's not white on screen, he somehow was able to allow these people in his chat. And to Asmon's merit, he actually used this to his benefit, as he's been dubbed the Rat King. Now, before I go further in this video, I want to make a huge disclaimer that I do not agree with everything Asmon says. I actually think we probably would agree on a lot of things, but there's a lot of things he says that I don't agree with, especially his approaches to very difficult topics, and more recently, the immigration stuff that's been going on. I think a lot of that stuff we would be butting heads on, but I can't say that the guy does not approach everything with a very fair outlook. And I've actually seen a lot of these comments where people are saying, well, Asmon's bigoted and a racist and a fascist and a Nazi and all these different things. And it's kind of weird because I've been watching him for a pretty long time now, at least since 2021. And he's made several comments very out in the open that he was a huge Bernie Sanders fan. And if anybody who doesn't know who Bernie Sanders was, he was so liberal when he first ran for office that people pretty much wrote him off as a deranged socialist. And despite that, I mean, people just let the character that he plays up for his chat somehow make him a racist and a fascist, when I think it's the exact opposite. I think at worst, he's just a very rich man who can afford to be insensitive at times. Well, at least most of the time. And so going back to people's issues with his React content, I personally started my own channel doing React content, so I kind of have mixed opinions on how bad or how good I think React content is. But what I will say is that I feel like despite whatever harm he may have caused, I have seen him get more people partnered on YouTube by reacting to their content and giving feedback on their video and giving them a wider audience to show their content in front of than I have seen him destroy channels. And I would say he honestly has probably done that more than any other creator on the platform. If anything, I think people should be more upset that we have larger creators seeing the content of smaller creators inside the creator studio and then taking their massive wealth and like massive following and completely encapsulating some other smaller creator's idea and passing it off as their own. I think that's a way bigger problem than React content. And as I said earlier, I completely get why people don't like content creators. I think there are a lot of content creators, especially on YouTube, who are just really good at scamming kids into watching their videos. But I think we should just like acknowledge that life is unfair. It always has been. And the big clear picture of this is that everyone can't make it as a streamer or a YouTuber or a content creator. And that
includes me.
Like right now, I'm basically just making videos for fun, right? But I'm also not taking all this creator energy that I have and spending it making hate threads about somebody who has said on camera in 4K that they don't care what people do for money, including himself. And honestly, if his viewers are okay with that, what are we going to do about it? And I think the funny irony in this whole thing is that he is literally siphoning all of the chatters that all the other people who hate on him ban, and therefore he's creating this like rat spirit bomb. And I hate to call it that, but like it's like this big rat spirit bomb where all these people are like mad and banning all these people, and then they just go straight to him, and he probably wouldn't even be as big as he is if everybody wasn't banning everyone just because they disagree with them. And really at the end of it, people should just watch who they want to watch and go about their day. I think the brutal and sad but honest truth is that a lot of us, including myself, would rather be Asmon than drive into work every day. Well,
but to be fair though, so I walk out into my fucking garage and there's literally a rat sitting there. Like back in the day, they would at least have like the fucking dignity to run away. But he's lived there so long, he didn't even give a fuck about me. He's like,
hey, anyway,
minus the hygiene stuff, like seriously dude, you need to like get some professional help. Like I genuinely, like I think you need to get some help. Like that's it's bad. It's bad. And I keep seeing all this stuff where it's like people are trying to pit Hassan and Asmongold together as like the two massive opposing forces of political content creation. And I'm sorry, I just feel like, if I'm going to be completely blunt, that Hassan is a worse bad actor than Asmon, because while Asmon is like admitting again in 4K on stream that he's okay with doing anything for money, and that basically he does play up the character sometimes because that's what his chat wants to see, you have somebody like Hassan who is like feigning that they are this like moral virtue signaling amazing person, and they're really, what they're doing is they're farming all these broken people with all of these sad stories that we don't really hear about, and using them as a pillar for his own financial gain, which I think is much worse and much disingenuous when you are acting like you actually care about a lot of the things that you say you care about and the communities that you say you care about. So yeah, that's going to be it for me today, guys. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this video. I'm not necessarily saying that Asmon's like a super great person or anything, and I'm definitely not saying that, you know, Hassan is the worst person in the world. I'm not saying that content creators deserve to be hated. I just think that there's a lot better things that the community could be doing as a whole, instead of like just waiting for the first chance to tear a content creator down unless they've like actually done something wrong. And I think people's energy will be better directed at the corporations who are paying these content creators and streamers these massive amounts of money so they can dopamine hijack every second of your life. But that's a topic for another video. But again, thanks guys for watching. If you like this type of content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.